lot of them did. Lincoln had no jurisdiction over the South. The president of the South was Jefferson Davis, not Abraham Lincoln. So Lincoln could have stood at the top of the Georgia mountain and screamed all he wanted to, did Miller Hill of Beans. Which for me, fucks me up, because it's like, the fact that Lincoln said that, and the War Department issues what's called General Order Number 15. This is going through the Civil War phase. Civil War happens, Negroes are scattered, POWs, war camps. General Order Number 15 says, give back 40 parcels of land. If you look up and read, it says 40 parcels of land, and this was headed up by the Freedmen's Bureau. 40 parcels of land are offered to Negroes to come back. I said, come back? Oh, it was, okay, so it was us who got pushed out. Got it. I thought it was Indians who got pushed. We are the damn Indians. Got it. That's how I discovered tribes like the Coweta Indians and the Yamasee and the Yamacraw and the Gullah and the so-called Seminoles, Cimarroons. Like, oh, that was us who got pushed off our land because we were the agriculturalists. Imagine 30,000+ George Washington Carvers get pushed off the land. That's why George Washington Carver is the GOAT, because we have that DNA in us as planters. We can plant, we can grow what we want to grow, because we know the land. Now from Africa, it's at the same soil. That's why certain fruits grow in Africa, peaches grow in Georgia, oranges grow in Florida, cotton grows here, peanuts grow here, so on and so forth, right? I've never seen a peach tree in Africa. Never heard of cotton being picked in Africa either. Certain territories can't grow certain shit. That's why certain animals are in Africa, certain animals are here. That's why you have lions from Africa and camels are from here. Not from Africa. Camels are from North America by nature. Okay, so now these Negroes are getting pushed out of the South, out west. They get offered a chance to come back. A lot of them come back, a lot of them said to hell with it. That's the first Great Migration. The second Great Migration happened in the 20s, and the third happened in the 60s. So now the first Great Migration, a lot of so-called Indians or Negroes return back to Georgia, Alabama, sets up their farm, their farmers. After Lincoln is shot, Andrew Johnson vetoes that order and allows white planters to come back to their land back. And that's what started the skirmish between so-called Negro slaves and white folks in the South. Now, a lot of those Negroes were offered an opportunity to work the land alongside these white folks. Those were called sharecroppers. Sharecroppers didn't receive any compensation at all. Tenant farmers received compensation. Tenant farmers got paid. And these tenant farmers were Negroes. So they never teach us about the two groups of sharecropping individuals and tenant farmers. Sharecroppers don't get paid nothing. They're just happy to be standing on the land. They got a free crib. They got Section 8. They get a little bit of cheese and they're straight. Today in 2024, we know a lot of sharecropping Negroes who just happen to be in the PJs. They can get a government check. Hey, whatever the government master say do, they got to do it. No man can't be in your house. Ain't no man gonna be in my house. Whatever they say. Now, the tenant farmers were entrepreneurs. The tenant farmers got broke off a lot of money for what they did. And what I don't understand also about this time period, there are about 4,484 black slave owners that nobody talks about. Anthony Johnson was the first one, they say. Anthony Johnson was an Angolan. He's from Angola. Anthony Johnson was actually an indentured servant himself. Anthony Johnson had owned a man for life. His name was John Castor. The first, look this up, the first black slave in North America, his name was John Punch. And look at the time period he was here. So prior to John Punch, there was no such thing as African slaves in America. John Punch was the first one, period. Now, 12 Years a Slave show us how this brother is from New York. And there's a scene in this movie. He's in the store with his wife. It could have been a Gucci store, a Fendi store, whatever. She's trying to buy a bag. She's about to go on a trip. You know what I'm saying? He talks to the man like, look, man, don't run my bag up. Wait a minute. Another Negro enters the store. Tattered clothes on, don't look as sharp. You know what I'm saying? And the white store clerk talks to him regularly. I'll be with you in a minute, sir. The white slave owner comes to the store and says, Jasper. And as he says Jasper, he notices the good-looking dressed Negro. Doesn't acknowledge him, acknowledges the store owner and pulls Jasper out of the store. there were two types of Negroes during this time period, is my point. Two types. Okay? General Order Number 3 get issued.